Hey, this is LLM Gaming Labs. Today we're going to be going over hopefully, fairly brief, um, new player guide to LLM Gaming. Hopefully it gives some insight to those of y'all that are planning to get involved in the world of LLM Gaming. First thing we're going to cover is LLM Gaming right for you. Who's type of solo gaming for? It's for creative and imaginative people. It's for anyone who enjoys improvisational storytelling. It's for visual people. Anyone who likes the Zork, so the old choose your own adventure books and games. Anyone who doesn't have a lot of options when it comes to other people to play with. And basically, if you're a creative, imaginative, visual person that likes or can enjoy playing text-based adventures and games, it's for you. With that said, who would not like large language solo gaming? Well, of course, that's people with no imagination. People who require graphics and image for immersion, and people that hate AI, aka clankers. This is the nutshell time. What is an LLM? An LLM is it's basically just a next word predictor. It pulls from all known, basically all known written human, depending on what the model is trained on, all known interaction. It decides what to say next based on the context of the conversation. That's it. It doesn't have a game engine loop. It doesn't, which is important later, as you'll see when it comes to remembering things. It doesn't have a true memory. It doesn't save things to memory. It doesn't do predictive planning. It doesn't think ahead. It just responds to prompts. And you may think this is limiting, and it is. It is in a way. But it's really good at it. It's like super, super good. So let's have some pros. Here are the pros. It can respond to literally anything you say. And by say, I mean type, unless you're using the auto function. It can generate dialogue, story, and create worlds on the fly. It's unlimited creativity and content. There's no fixed storyline. Player can do anything they want. There's true freedom without the illusion of choice that you might get from a GM that has a pre-planned session that he doesn't want you to stray too far from. There's no replay ceiling. There's no need for dev or development pre-game building, except the prompt, which we'll cover later. That can take some time, but it's you can use AI to help you with that. You can personalize the experience to your taste. AI it can adapt to your playstyle. You can tailor the tone, dark, serious, light, comedic, etc. And you get the feeling that the game kind of understands what you're going for. And if not, you can direct it. What are the cons? I knew you'd ask that. I'll list them next. But first, let me say that you can minimize and eliminate pretty much all of these through good prompting and directions that you give. The caveat there. Alright, the cons. So this cons list came primarily from asking ChatGPT what the cons of LLM gaming are. And it's, one, inconsistency and memory issues, lack of real game mechanics. It can feel more like storytelling than a quick game. It hallucinates, makes logic errors. It makes up things incorrectly. The role rules can suddenly change. There's limited emotional depth, repetition or shallow responses over time. And I've put an asterisk out beside each one that can be easily overcome through good prompting, and yeah, that's all of them can. I would caveat with the limited emotional depth. Its emotional depth is based on all of human written experience. Uh, so even in all my sessions, I've never really experienced that it didn't grasp human emotion. And if it is, just tell it, be more emotional about it. So even that don't count. Now I'm going to give you my best practice guide. This is going to help you get the most from your LLM gaming. Now bear in mind, this is my basic starter guide. I'm going to make guides and go into, if you watch my videos, I'll explain much more in depth on how I do these best practices and other best practices. But this is the starter. Now, before we get started, there's a caveat. I use ChatGPT. Why do I use it? Because of all the LLMs I've tried, and I've tried pretty much all of them. The ones online, I got a potato for computers, so I haven't really done a lot of the ones you can download and use yourself. I've found that it's the best at narrating and creating imaginative games. That's just it. It's also the most feature complete and has the most polish what I'm trying to do with it. You can use Gemini, Claude, Grok, any of the others. Yeah, and you may love them. You may love their style. I've tried all of those. I find the narrative style of ChatGPT, or Chatty GPT as I put up here, I find it to be actually quite true. I just like it better. I use the $20 a month paid plan, and I get all the value out of it. Your miles may vary if you don't use a paid plan. Keep that in mind. Here's the best practices guide. Use detailed prompts that tell you exactly how you want it to behave and how you want the information delivered. I used UI. You think with a good graphical user interface, right? This is your user interface. If you don't like the way it's laying the text out for you, the format, tell it the format you want, and it'll do that. Put that in your initial prompt so it knows. If you watch my video on the Star Wars Galactic Dice, it has a very specific user interface that I told it the way I want the information delivered after the dice rolls. And then this is a test prompt. This prompt, everything in the quote here is an actual prompt that would run. Run me a quest using the Tiny Dungeon D6 system, where I am a randomly generated player and you are the GM. You will control all NPCs and narrator functions. And it knows what an NPC is. It's been trained on basically all of human existence. It knows what an NPC is, it knows what a narrator is, it knows what its functions are. Keep scene descriptions to within 50 characters. You can put this wherever you want. It just keeps it from getting too windy in its description. I found 50 is a sweet spot for quicker sessions. If I want more, if I say I was doing a Warhammer Fantasy, Dark, or a Dungeon Crawling Classics, Dark Adventure, I may take that out. Give me the full flavor text. But this, for Dungeon D6, 50's fine. My character name will be Bob Frapples, of course, and I am a fighter. It knows what a fighter is in D6, so it'll give me all the other stuff based on that parameter. When it's my turn to act, you will ask for my action. You will not give me options or advice. If you don't put this, it'll give you like 4 or 5 options, and then you don't have to be creative yourself. I like to think my way through my problems. Sometimes this is nice. Normally they're given a 1, 2, 3, 4 bullet point, and you just say type 3, and you don't have to type anything. All dice rolls will be made using Python randomness, and you will show me the rolls. I'll go over this here later. It's basically just saying use an external Python script to determine randomness. It's not true randomness. We're not going to get into true randomness. We don't have enough time in the day. But it's computer randomness, computer game randomness. And then show me the rolls. I want it to show me what it rolled. Now, this prompt is a good start. It'll make for a fun session. It conquers most of the cons that were in the cons section. It gives clear guidance, and it tells what rule set we're using, the world we're using, and it's going to use the world based on the one in the Tiny Dungeon D6. Because I didn't specify. I want this to be in, the world of the Warhammer Fantasy, or, create a sword and sorcery style world. It's just going to use the generic one from the D6. To generally base the adventure. It tells it that you want Python randomness. It'll use an external Python script to get a random number from the generator instead of using pseudo randomness that the LLM uses. Being a predictability machine, it just basically picks a number that it knows. You can go into a deep dive on this. Basically, if it picked 1,000 numbers, it's going to pick a whole lot of 7s on 2 dice, because that's the most rolled number on 2 dice. It's the one that's going to come up most in human history. So it's not true randomness. We accept that. The other options to prompt are when a roll is needed, prompt me to enter the dice roll that I made outside the game. This is what you would change that to if you wanted to enter your dice roll, which is another fun option. Or you can, this one I like to use theater of the mind narration, and you make all rolls, but show me the roll result. It allows it to use its pseudo randomness. It allows it to kind of guide the adventure and keep it fun based on what I've asked it to do. If I want it to be tougher on me, I want it to be more aggressive, stop rewarding me or Care Bear play, it'll take that into consideration. Put that in your prompt. I've found that true random role-playing games are boring. You play Tiny D6, you will fail all the time. You'll roll a 1 through 4, way more than you roll a 5 or 6. If you let the LLM do it, you'll still fail, but you'll exceed more than you fail. He'll choose the time, it seems, when the failing makes for the best storytelling. When you're playing a solo theater of the mind game, I find it to be way more entertaining than just true randomness. But teach their own. Now, if you want more control of the rule set than just telling it a rule set, you can find and upload the files. You can search online. A lot of them look at my Toon video. I find the Steve Jackson's Toon role-playing system, PDFs online, download it. You can put it in source files. If you run ChatGPT or the other ones that have source files, you can add it to it. You can also just drop it straight into the chat window and it'll load it, but that's not sure where that allows in the token counts. But you can create your own rule set using a text document that you feed into it. These documents give you a way to stay more consistent over time, and also a way that you can refresh it. You can say, can you reread the vehicle combat.txt that I put in the sources? If it starts to stray and forgetting rules, you can remind it where those rules are. And then I like to create an initial prompt in a text file that I then drop in and out of the chat to affect it. I even ask it, what can I do to make this prompt better? And then save the answers you give me out into a text file that I can then copy and paste back into my working text document on my desktop. periodically run through a short start of your prompt, and if something looks off, if it's not behaving like you wanted it to, simply tell it or ask it, why are you doing this? Why are you stopping every time you get to a roll? Why aren't you just making a roll? And many times it'll lead you to a better understanding of why your wording is off. It'll say, well, because in this part of your prompt, you don't leave me an option. I'm like, oh, okay, I need to reword that. You can also tell it what you're trying to do. This is what I want it to do. Can you reword it so you know what I mean? And it'll reword it, cut, paste that back into your prompt worksheet that you're building on your desktop. Here's my number one advice for avoiding loss of memory and hallucinations. It's simple. Keep your sessions brief. That's it. The longer you go in a chat window, the longer your sessions go, the more you pile into one chat, the more likely it's going to start forgetting things, forgetting your initial prompt, forgetting your rules. Um, and that's simply because that's the way large language models work. The further it gets along, the more it forgets what it knew before. So keep your sessions brief. How do you do that? One, you make your initial prompt as succinct as possible. And by succinct, I mean in token count. You can ask it, what's the token count on the prompt? It's not going to tell you, it's going to give you some lame boilerplate answer about, I don't know exactly what, but it'll estimate how many tokens it is. And then you can say, how can I word this better so that AI knows what I want without being as many tokens? And it'll give you advice. And then cut and paste those in to replace things in your text document until you get down to as low of a token count as you possibly can in your initial prompt. That gives you more time in your session before it starts running out of tokens and dropping to a different model and starting to forget things, depending on your plan. Also, when a quest, mission, adventure, whatever you're calling the thing, the session, whenever it's at a good saving point, whenever it's a good point that you're ready to stop for the night, or you're ready to you complete the mission and you're back in town, and it gave you some hooks for new missions to take. Tell it, create me a brief prompt containing all the pertinent information from the session so that I can start you back at this point next time we play. It'll do it. You can say make it a text file. It'll do it. Cut and paste that into a text file that you then can take, put on your desktop. You can reread it. I keep them in a folder based on the name of the game, and then you can add anything that it might have missed that you want it to quote remember. Like the villagers, they started referring to me as the Chad of Chadsville. That way it knows. Next time it'll make sure that it doesn't forget that you're the Chad of Chadsville. When you start a new session, you can simply post your initial game prompt. And I would go in there if I've already started a campaign with that prompt. I might create another text file called campaign prompt, and then take out whatever instructions you gave it for a new start, like your character creation stuff. Put that at the bottom of your initial prompt. Then you can take that part out because it doesn't need to recreate your character. It knows who your character are. That's where you would paste in the where are we in the campaign part. So when you put the prompt in, it knows all the game rules and also knows where you are in that world. Now, yes, it's going to be some things will be slightly different. It may be daytime instead of nighttime. It may because you didn't tell it. Things that you are important to you. If it's important to you that the game ended at midnight on a Thursday, then you need to make sure in your refreshing prompt that you tell it it's midnight on Thursday. Otherwise, the new AI that's starting this new session is just going to make it up. But it's no different than playing with a human GM. In that when you start the game, they're like, well, I don't remember where we were 2 months ago when we played in this campaign, and you just make it up. It's no different. Just make sure, let's say your character sheet information, if it's a game that has a character sheet, I would save that out separately. I usually make a separate character sheet prompt that I set up alongside my initial prompt. I say this is my character sheet. I want it to look like this: name, hit points, this, equipment, and then I can add that as a source file, a character sheet file, or I can paste it below my here we are in the campaign. Here's my character, and then drop in all the character sheet. So it knows exactly what character. To include party members. Party members, if you have party members in your party that will stay with you, make sure that it has a brief synopsis of their sheets and equipment as well, so that nothing gets left behind. And that's it. I mean, that's the basics. It gets way more advanced. I've got some games that I'm using this information to be way more in depth. But this is the short of it. This is the best guide to avoid the hangups. I'm sure I missed a lot. I'm sure there's a lot to add. There'll be more advanced ones. But add any thoughts. If you have any issues, questions, comments, disagreements, put them in the comments. We can discuss it. Thank you. Until next time. Bye.